It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
You know what time it is. That's right. It is Monday, October 31st, 2022. Happy Halloween. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Not feeling the greatest.
He's dressed as Stick. He's dressed as Stick.
There you go. Stick.
Great costume.
It is Halloween, so Stick is doing his best Braylon Edwards costume. But Stick, good afternoon to you. Happy Halloween.
Same to you. I feel a little out of place. I'm the only one in this damn building that wore a costume. Everybody else is in normal clothes. I walked in this morning. Yeah, Maz, you got the new goatee and hair on.
I got the black hair. I'm like Ryan Day. I'm born on 3rd today.
Look at that, Tom Mazawey.
Look how young and svelte Maz looks.
I guys out there and gals in the in Twitter land and of course on Woodward Sports land. I was going to wear a sign that said, "Yes, I know," today. I almost didn't come in today.
Just give me a quick synopsis here. Give me a quick synopsis. I mean, let's get this over with off the bat.
I almost didn't come in today because I left the dye on my hair and my goatee a little too long. Yes, my wife told me I looked 80 years old last week. So I'm like, that's it. I'm done. So here I am.
Now this is a self-dye situation?
I had a friend help.
Oh, okay.
So wait, your wife told you looked 80?
Yeah.
Do you ever give her negative compliments like that?
Never.
Yeah, that's not fair.
No.
You need to check her.
It is what it is.
You say, listen, I may look 80, but maybe you've ABC.
Hey, that's all right.
I'm not going to say it.
I take the high road, man. You know me.
And then you go and dye your hair?
I did.
Do you feel good? That's the important thing.
No, I was embarrassed. I almost didn't come in today.
I know the feeling.
I swear to God.
I know the feeling. Nonetheless, guys, big show for you today. We're going to get right to all this stuff. Look, the Michigan State thing, we're going to get to it in just a little bit. I have lots of thoughts on this, and I invite everybody to stick around. We've got Matt Charboneau coming up today at 3 o'clock, top of hour number 2. We'll talk to Matt Charboneau. It's really, his video is the one that's been viewed millions of times in the tunnel. And again, the game, the rivalry, the fight.
The hate.
We'll get to all of it. I promise you. We'll do that relatively shortly. But I do want to start with the other football team in our area. It's these guys right here. The Detroit Lions.
Those are our guys.
And we will start because there was a major move today. Dan Campbell has fired Aubrey Pleasant, the defensive backs coach. That's from Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press, Lions writer. Burkett goes on to say Pleasant is a good coach. I don't have any doubt he'll land on his feet. He's a big part of the reason why Jeff Okudah has played so well this season. The Lions are also 1-6, have the worst defense in the NFL, and their secondary just got shredded. He is the first sacrificial lamb of the year. Before we get into the numbers, Stick, your overall thoughts when you heard the news that Aubrey Pleasant had been fired.
Well, I thought you used the exact perfect word, sacrificial lamb. Somebody had to go. It ain't going to be Dan Campbell. It ain't going to be the defensive coordinator. It's going to be nobody above that platform, so they had to make a move. Kind of like Anthony Lynn last year. It's just a move to make a move. But reading that tweet by Dave Burkett, it brought up a really good point. Jeff Okudah has turned into a legitimate cornerback. Obviously, some coaching has gone into that. So whether it's on Aubrey Pleasant or not, bringing that guy to what he's been the last couple games, he's been a violent player the last couple games. I saw improvement there, but when your defense is what it is, it's either the head guy's got to go or one of the underlings got to go. They chose the underling not to ruffle too many feathers and just hope this isn't a first in many.
Tom Mazawey, let's look at it like this. The Detroit defense has given up a league-high 32 points a game. They've given up 225 points overall in the 7 games that they have played. They've allowed 24 points in 9 straight football games. Yesterday, the Miami Dolphins were 8 of 12 on 3rd down, 1 of 1 on 4th down. They've allowed to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle combined 20 catches, 294 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is combined. 2 100-yard receivers for the Miami Dolphins. They converted on a 3rd and 13, a 3rd and 13, a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 6, a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 3, a 3rd and 14 they did not get, but they picked up 10 yards on it and later converted on the 4th down. This is an absolute disaster of a defense. It's not getting any better.
It did last week.
Go ahead. I mean,
it did last week, and I was expecting more this week. But unfortunately, they ran into way better receivers than the Dallas Cowboys have. I want you to read what I gave you, and it was from yesterday. Dan Campbell talking about that secondary before I say what I got to say.
So Dan Campbell, head coach of the Lions on the defense, and if it took a step back in week 8, here's Dan Campbell. Here's what I got to say about it. We did not do well in this game plan that was designed for these guys. It was, I think you have to. There's a certain way you have to play them. And look, they want to keep you in base defense. They want to see if they can funnel out your Sam linebacker and get him in space. So that was part of the plan. Stay in more of a nickel type package with Will Harris. And so it's something we'd work all week. We were trying to take away these bend throws on speed and layer over the top. Let Kirby Joseph spy a little bit. And we didn't handle it well. We didn't. So they didn't do anything. I mean, they did exactly what we knew they would do. They just did it. Did it over and over and had their way. That from Dan Campbell after the game.
That was yesterday. So that's why I don't have a problem with what happened today. I'm sorry, Aubrey Pleasant. It just didn't work out. We boasted about this staff he put together. And maybe it's not what we think it is. Maybe it's not what we had hoped it was going to be. All these ex-players, wow, it's really going to, this is a first. No one's ever done that. Maybe there's a reason nobody ever did that. You know, when you look back at what the Giants have been doing, Wink Martindale at their defense did a great job yesterday, even though they lost to the Seahawks. We're just not turning the corner. And you got some decent talent in the secondary, led by Jeff Okudah, who's really becoming that number one guy that you took. Would I rather have had Tua? Yeah, I would rather have Tua. But it is what it is. Dan Campbell had to do what he had to do. Last year, he took play calling away from Anthony Lynn, and he waited to the end of the year to separate. This time, he's like, we're going down the wrong way, man. I got to make a move now. I'm interested to see what they do to improve. They got the Packers next week. They're going to be throwing the ball. They don't have the receivers either. So maybe they get back to being better next week. But they met their match yesterday as far as receivers versus DBs.
To me, it comes across as a lot of change for the sake of change. You know, like, because what's the next move from this? Who's the next up? Who's going to be the next defensive backs coach? Does anybody know? This isn't like last year when you get Little Lynn and you have Ben Johnson waiting in the wings who can come up and take your team to the next level. You see somebody there. And even if you do bring in the best defensive back coach of all time, how much difference is it going to make on this team for the rest of the year? Minimal at best, right? It's one position on the defense that is record-settingly awful. You're just throwing Band-Aid on something at this point, trying to plug the hole in the submarine.
Perhaps, Dick, but at the same time, if guys don't know where they're supposed to be, that's a coaching problem. If Miami did not do anything that you did not expect them to do, that's a coaching problem. If these guys are lined up wrong, that's a coaching problem.
But wouldn't that be the DC's problem? Not necessarily the defensive backs coach?
I don't know.
He can
and
coach
Aaron Glenn's next. Aaron Glenn is on the clock, by the way.
And I think that's what this is. Changed because they tried to save Glenn. They had to save Glenn.
Perhaps, unless, Dick, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, too. I mean, this could be player-driven. This could be player-driven, saying, "Look, we don't know where we're supposed to be." And I'll reference back to Friday when we had Al Bubba Baker on, and one of the things that we asked him about was Aiden Hutchinson. Maj, you'll remember this. And one of the things that he was talking about as it relates to Aiden Hutchinson was go back and look at Aiden Hutchinson's stat line. And if you look at yesterday's stat line, 1 tackle, no solo tackles, no sacks, no tackles for loss, no passes defensed, no quarterback hits. He said, this is too good of a player to have a stat line like that, So that tells him automatically he's just thinking too much. He's not even able to play football because he's thinking too much, and that is on coaching.
So why don't we get rid of the defensive line coach?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you can't fire everybody mid-season.
Why not?
I mean, you could, I guess.
Clear them out. Like if we're gonna do it, do it.
I mean, you could essentially, and maybe he's next. But look, Dan Campbell's on the clock here too, and I don't care that he's got a 6-year deal. This team ain't getting better. They're just not. And I wish I could come out for you today. Yesterday I watched that game. There wasn't one time, not at 14-0, not at 21-7, that I thought they were going to win the football game. Now, I watched that game yesterday totally emotionally dead because that team...
I'm sorry to laugh.
Seriously.
I know you did. I saw your tweets earlier.
I was emotionally dead watching the game yesterday, and I only watched it, to be honest with you, and I love the NFL, but I only watched it so I knew what I was talking about today on the show.
Bro, it's a close game.
They're a bad football team, and it's the same stuff we've been talking about for years and years, and probably the same stuff we're going to be talking about for years to come. I just have nothing left to give this football team or this franchise. I don't believe in Dan Campbell anymore, if I'm being totally honest with you. I don't
What
believe
did he
in
do
this
wrong
catching.
yesterday?
I just don't think they're getting better. I don't believe the Detroit Lions are getting better. I don't think they're so close. How close are they, Fletch? How close are they? Can Dan Campbell tell me how close they are?
My thought is that as frustrating as it is, I know how close we are because we are still talking about one play. And the hard thing is to just keep doing your job, and stand in the thick of the storm. And the easy thing is to go down below and get under the blanket and eat all the food and whatever. It's the guys who are going to stay on the deck and just continue to do their part because they know the sun's coming. Those are the guys we're looking for. So that's how I choose to think of this. The only way to clean up everything is to go back to work. That's all I know.
You know what that sounds like to me, and I'm really not trying to disrespect Dan Campbell. I love Dan Campbell. I want him to do well. I don't want him to be fired. I want this to work out, and I hope to God I'm wrong. That's where I stand on it. But that sounded like Rod Marinelli to me. My pick is sharp, my shovel is sharp,
my
and
will
my
is
will
strong.
is outstanding. Yeah. That's exactly what that sounded like to me. And I hate that I'm saying that about this guy because I don't want to start all over again. I'm not calling for Dan Campbell to be fired, but I'm saying he's on the clock because I don't see what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's definitely coach speak that he came out with yesterday, and that's what happens when you lose, right? You got to come out with the same old. But I had a different take from yesterday. I was encouraged by yesterday's game because we got our offense back, or the Lions got their offense back.
For a half.
They disappeared, right? But they disappeared for 2 games. All of a sudden, it was like, okay, because when they were getting their head kicked in early in the season, it was, okay, the offense is good. We know the defense is bad. Hopefully we can outscore some people. And at least half the team showed up yesterday. And I'll take that because, to me, I know that's what our team is. We have an offense. We don't have a defense. It's when the offense doesn't show up that it's very scary because now we don't have any identity.
There is a reason why this offense did not show up, and we can explore that a little further. Plus, we'll get to Michigan State, all that ahead. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm.
Speaking of defense,
they're your local security experts. Maybe Dan Campbell should call them up. Local security experts have been for over 90 years. Guardian Alarm keeps you safe, gives you peace of mind, whether you're at home or on the road. They're 24/7 local programming, monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. Call them right now.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, gang, got to head down to Big Boy because they got the limited specials going on right now. The brand new burgers and the loaded fries. Check it out. It's not the Slim Jim anymore. It's the Big Jim. How about the chili cheeseburger and the bacon blue and those fries? You got to do them up. No more plain fries. How about the chili cheese fries, the nacho fries, and the baked potato fries? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
2 years. 2 years. You keep going. That's how you do it. You keep going. You keep going. You deliver another message, a different message. You change a couple of things up.
So that was Dan Campbell after the game. Again, if you're just tuning in here on WoodwardSports.com, Dan Campbell has fired Aubrey Pleasant, Lions defensive backs coach, today. And look, they've got many more problems than the defensive secondary. Stick in for Braylon today. Braylon will be back tomorrow. Tom Mazawey with us. We got Fletch and JB here on Halloween. But yesterday, they got torched. And it wasn't 8 of 12 on third downs yesterday, 1 of 1 on fourth down. And it wasn't like these third downs were, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3.
13s, right.
There was 1 3rd and 3 that they converted. Everything else, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 8. Another 3rd and 13. The 3rd and 14 that they didn't get, they got 10 yards on it and ended up going for it on 4th down and ultimately got that 4th down conversion. So they've got some real problems. In the last 3 games, Stick, you talked about their offense encouraged you. Here's where I'll tell you where it is discouraging to me. In the last 3 games, the Lions have been outscored in the second half 13-0, 14-0, 21-0.
Yep.
They have not scored a point in the second half of their last 3 games.
And you know what that tells me? In-game adjustments are poor.
1 million billion cajillion
and that's part of the
all
credit,
that is.
And that's part of the credit I gave Dan Campbell yesterday on the post-game show. When they came out and went up the way they did, it was like, okay, they can put together a solid game plan. They can actually decipher what this team isn't good at and attack their weakness. That is a good sign of coaching. But then when you got to make those in-game adjustments, that's the next level of coaching, right? Every NFL coach should be able to come up with a game plan if you have a week. It's when the in-game stuff happens, everything you plan for that week is no longer working. How do you adjust? And that's where the biggest complaint I have for the Lions this year has been. There's been no second half adjustments. We haven't seen us get dominated in the first half and come back out and do something better in the second half. Or they haven't seen the Lions dominate in the first half and continue to do that in the second half. Something always trips them up. Even against the Washington game, the one game that they won, they kicked the hell out of them in the first half. They just held on for dear life till that clock ran out. And so in-game coaching is a major part of this, and that's when the goods become greats, and that's my biggest fear about Dan Campbell and his coaching staff right now. Yeah, give them time. They'll come up with something, but if they got to do it on the spot, oh no, it's not getting done.
Well, the previous 2 weeks, they lost to Bill Belichick, and then they lost to a Super Bowl coach and Mike McCarthy. People make fun of Mike McCarthy, but he did win a Super Bowl. He's not a bad coach. But now you lose to a rookie coach in Mike McDaniel, who's got some pretty good talent on that team, at least at the wide receiver spot. And it looks like Tua Tagovailoa is the real deal. He really is. He came in with the hip injury when they drafted him. Obviously, the Lions passed on him.
His arm strength is hilariously bad, though.
Okay.
He could not get the ball to Tyreek Hill down the field to save his life.
So's Jared Goff's. There's a lot of guys.
Goff can throw it much further.
Well, I don't know about that.
I saw it yesterday.
Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? He still gets them. He still gets them completed.
It matters.
He still got some great receivers catching the ball.
Oh no, it's true, but it was just funny that every Tyreek Hill big play was underthrown.
Who had a bad day yesterday? Our wide receiver for us.
Josh Reynolds.
Terrible. Should have had a touchdown in the at the second quarter. Should have had that touchdown. It was a bullet, but he had to make it a bullet with 3 seconds to go in that half, and then he got twirled around at the end of that game. I didn't have a real problem with that short. What was it? 4th and 3 at the end of that game.
4th and 2, yeah.
4th and 2, and they threw it long. I didn't really have a problem with that. They should have had the touchdown.
I don't think the underneath guys were open.
Yeah,
and Reynolds should have caught the pass.
No one's getting open. Nobody is getting open. Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't have a great game yesterday.
Well, and who do you trust more to win that game? Jared Goff in your offense, or put it in the hands of your defense?
Well, yeah, the offense.
So you take that shot with the offense.
Yeah.
You have to.
What hurt was, and I'll say it, and it's a cop out. But DeAndre Swift is not. He's not ready yet.
He's not the guy. He's not the guy.
And he's not back 100%
He's
yet.
not the guy.
He probably is.
He's not the guy.
Probably is.
Look, 5 carries for 6 yards, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I know he caught the touchdown pass.
Yeah.
But 5 carries for 6 yards, dude. What do you want me to say about you? You know what I mean? Like it's almost like when they finally have somebody that you could see as a great player. Like DeAndre Swift, when healthy, is to me a top 5, top 6 back in this league.
Easily. But
he can't play for you because he's never available. He is never available, even up 14-0. You know what you should be doing? Handing the ball to DeAndre Swift.
Should be hammering you,
Killing
the clock.
Never throwing it at all. You're up 14-0. You're on up 21-7. You should be turning around and handing the ball to DeAndre Swift behind your 3 first-round offensive line.
They didn't do very well yesterday either. A couple straight penalties on your boy Penei Sewell. They weren't great yesterday.
So
why you gotta say my boy?
That's because he is.
I don't know what to
You're
make
damn
about
right,
it.
You
man.
defend him all the time.
I do defend. I defend a Hall of Fame potential player.
Well, yeah, he's not yet.
Well, of course he hasn't retired yet. Nobody active is in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
I just don't think he's all that.
Yeah, he's good. Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not good. Yeah, yes.
Whatever.
So I just
He's not in the Hall of Fame.
I just don't know how to respond to DeAndre Swift. I don't know how to feel about him. I don't know how to feel about this football team because, again, Dan Campbell can tell me they're close all they want. Most of the league is close. The league is a close league.
It's a parity league. You should be close.
And so Jamal Williams got the bulk of the carries yesterday, 10 carries for 53 yards. Here's what he had to say after the game. Jamal Williams.
I'm over it, but it's not to the point of frustration where I'm lashing out to people just because they ask that question. But we know what we need to do, and of course it's irritating to hear the same question over and over and know how far and how close we really are, but just got to keep going. So
I don't think you get to say you're close when you're the worst team in the league.
Dan Campbell says they're 2 plays away again.
Then whose fault is that? I think that's the coach's fault. He should stop saying that. Because when you're the worst team...
But what's he supposed to say? Honestly, it's just like when Sheila came out last week. What's she supposed to say? And this is also kind of leading back into that. She comes out and says there's a lot of confidence in this coaching staff. I'm confident in what we do. And what do they do the next 2 days later? They fire a coach. So You're not that confident.
I don't know, man. This feels like we've been down this road before.
But
I like Rod Marinelli too.
Put yourself in that position, though. What are you supposed to? Yeah, our team sucks.
No, I don't.
This roster's garbage. You know, because that's the Parcells. You bring up
You're
Parcells.
right.
What did he do when he didn't have the team
You're
that
right.
he wanted? Hey, they're asking me to cook them a dinner, but they won't let me shop for the groceries.
I think, but
that was his quote.
I think because you want to believe they're close, but their record says otherwise. You want to believe that the Lions are, look, just the running back position, the quarterback position. It's great the Lions have the number 1 pick and the number 13 or 14 pick, whatever they are. Down
3
to
and
the
4 Rams is very nice.
Right, the 3 and 4 Rams, that looks
very
great.
nice.
But, you have 2 added needs now because you've got to get a running back, and you probably have to do that with your 2nd-round pick if you want a good one, if you want a game-changing one, and you've got to get a quarterback. So that birds, we talk all this crap about the defense. I don't think you can draft defense. Of your first 3, you got 3 of the top 35 picks or whatever. 2 of those are going to be offensive players.
See, I said the exact opposite yesterday on the postgame show. I said this draft, because everybody's like, forget postgame, 2023 draft. What are we talking, baby? No one wanted to talk postgame yesterday. It was all about the future. And I'm the exact opposite. I think it's defense.
You got to pass up a quarterback?
It depends on the quarterback, but this is a very deep quarterback class coming out, and I don't think Goff is bad enough to get rid of. I think you have much worse problems that you got to address before you address anything on the offensive side.
I don't think this rebuild has begun until you get your quarterback.
That's a fact. Until you get a quarterback, Stick, you don't have anything.
That's not true, man.
Okay.
This is the example I used yesterday. Jimmy Garoppolo. What did 49ers think? We're just a quarterback away. That's all we need is a quarterback. This guy who took us to the Super Bowl isn't quite good enough. Well, they go out, they spend their draft capital, they get a Trey Lance, who we can talk about DeAndre Swift not being able to be on the field, and that's a negative thing against him. Same thing with Trey Lance. And now you get your Jimmy G back, who knows the offense, who can run it. Is he going to beat the world? No. But is he the guy that can get you there step by step? Yes, and that's how I feel about Jared Goff. And I don't want to be caught in a San Francisco situation with Jared Goff when we got our better quarterback sitting on the bench because we invested so much capital in a kid who could never play. It scares me.
I just, and we touched on this with Burkett a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how you have 5 straight years of top 10 picks and not walk away with your quarterback of the future.
Not even a pick of a quarterback.
That would be devastating to a franchise, I think, to have 5 straight years of a top 10 pick and not come away with your long-term answer at quarterback. That is something that I don't think this organization, well, I mean, not that it matters because nothing seems to work for this organization. And again, I love the Lions. I've made no secret of that. I want them to do well. I thought this would be a 10-win year. And again, man, what an asshole I look like. Pardon my, for, you know, I mean, I hate to use that kind of language, but seriously, this team just telling you, man,
Listen, would you rather
I'm
have
sick because I feel like there's another rebuild about to happen.
Would you rather have Tua? If you had Tua right now here instead of Okuda, how much better of a team do you think you'd have?
Marginally. I mean,
really?
To me, our offense isn't the issue.
I know, but have you looked lately at the Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
How Justin Fields is all of a sudden showing that maybe he is going to be the first Ohio State quarterback to really show something. Because I watched him yesterday against the Cowboys, and he sure looks like a guy that's on the up. And I saw him the week prior against the Patriots, and he sure looks like a guy that's growing. And Matt Eberflus is a defensive coach, and they got a pretty good defense in Chicago. Not yesterday, of course, but those games are going to happen.
Yeah, but I could do this too with.
But you need a quarterback.
I could do this
man.
with Baker Mayfield. The Browns thought they got their guy when they drafted Baker Mayfield so high, right? How did that work out?
I don't know.
We could go back to when we took Stafford in the draft. Mark Sanchez went 3 players later. How did Mark Sanchez? So we could. I mean, for every success story that you can point to, I can point to probably 3 or 4 more failures.
Hey guys, let me ask you this question.
Sanchez went to 2 AFC championships.
Let me ask you this question.
Back to back.
Let me ask you this question. What number do you have in your head in terms of wins right now? Save it. And is there a number that Dan Campbell has to get to in order to come back next year? I think you really are now considering at 1-6. Is there a number that he has to reach in order to earn a 3rd year as head coach of the Detroit Lions? I want your take on that. Chime in, woodwardsports.com. Get in the Woodward Sports chat. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. CHC is blessed to have had over 20,000 success stories. And Maz?
Yes, sir.
I think you and I are hopping on this bus.
Well, I definitely need it. You only need you look good to me, but if you want to lose weight with me, let's go.
I'm in on this. I got on the scale today.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Guess.
220.
230 pounds. I need to lose 20. So I am all in on Custom Health Centers. Maz, you doing it with me?
Yes. Count me in. I'll weigh in tomorrow morning. Make it official.
All right, we'll make it official. 230.2 pounds for me.
I will give it to you.
Maz will get your weight, and we're going to start this thing.
Let's do it.
I'm excited about it, man.
Now, let's face it. I got to lose more weight than you, so we'll do it like on a percentage.
Okay.
All right?
How much weight you got to lose?
I want to lose 50.
50 pounds.
Yeah.
God bless you. All right, and I'm at 30, so I want to lose 20 pounds. So I want to lose 20. You want to lose 50.
Well, I want to lose 100, but I'll start with 50.
Awesome. I'm in. All right. Hey, start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason in Custom Health at 844-789-THIN. Can't wait for this. Cannot wait for this.
Let's
844-789-THIN.
I'm eating candy tonight, though.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan. I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag #WoodwardFrontRow. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got one toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, when you see the number 23, 2 names should hop into your head. That is Michael Jordan and Michael Phillips. Yes, both the greatest at what they do, and 23 years in the game makes Mike the number 1 option for you. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, he is the number 1 name in real estate. So give him a call today, 313-403-0011. Got to thank them for the hospitality last week. It was so fun to be out there. Mike Phillips and his entire crew with Keller Williams. Go check them out. Game on.
Absolutely. Can't thank Mike Phillips enough for the hospitality that they showed Woodward Sports.
They were phenomenal.
Last week. Certainly some great people out there. Hey, guys, we're going to talk Michigan State in just a couple of minutes. Matt Charboneau, Michigan State beat writer for the Detroit News, will join us. It was his video that really kind of went viral and seen by millions of people. We'll get the update on that. Again, Lions fire Aubrey Pleasant, defensive backs coach, and named Brian Duker, the defensive backs coach for the remainder of this year.
Who?
Brian Duker.
Oh, that's it. We're going to the Super Bowl. They did it. They fixed the problem.
There you go. Stick you asked, and they answered.
But that's what I mean. Like, this is change for the sake of change. Right. This does nothing for the team.
Unless they brought in Dion.
Yeah, unless it's something in the locker room where he has, like, Do you think Dion's coming here to be the DB coach?
No, I'm joking.
No.
I disagree with that. I think, I think maybe he's doing a bad job. I mean, it could be a bunch of elements to that, but neither here nor there.
They got rid of the caterer.
Neither here nor there. Let me ask you guys this question, because this looks bad. It looks real bad right now. So I want to ask you, is there a number? It's 2 questions, really. What number do you think the Lions will get to in terms of wins this year? And is there a number that Dan Campbell must get to in terms of wins in order for him to earn a 3rd year as head coach of the Detroit Lions? Stick, I'll start with you.
The number I have in my head that they could potentially get to, maybe 4 wins. That's where I got them at, 4 wins this year. But I honestly think if they don't win another game, Dan Campbell's still locked in for next year. It doesn't matter. History has already been written with Dan Campbell. He will have a 3rd year coaching in Detroit, and it's more about the 6-year contract and about Sheila's comments last week and our good friend D-Mac, who sits in that chair during Big D Energy, and his clock. I understand the theory behind the clock. I'm not going to judge him till all the way through 2 seasons. we're getting very scarily close to that all the way through 2 seasons, and we're sitting on 4 wins. That's not a great sign. But I don't think the upper management is looking at Dan Campbell like his head's on the chopping block. I think they're looking at him a little funny right now of, hey, this isn't what you promised us. But I also think with her comments last week about saying that this isn't a rebuild, we had to tear everything down, that they're just looking at this as year 1. Last year was just kind of a throwaway year, for lack of a better term, to get the salary cap right, to clear out some free agents, to bring in some cheaper contracts. This was literally the year 1 in their heads, from my interpretation about what they've been saying.
I have them. I really do believe this. I thought they were going to win yesterday. As a matter of fact, I said it on the Friday show, and I said it on the pregame show yesterday with Adam and Booner. I thought they were going to win. We're up 14-0. I knew they were going to give some points away. I thought they were going to pull it out at the end. I really believed it. I still believe they have 6 wins in them. I'm sticking with 6 wins. I believe that Dan Campbell will have a run. They'll win 2-3 in a row, and he will maybe age less. I feel for him. I'm looking at him now, and he, like we said, he looks like a president. Came in all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and now he looks like Donald Trump does right now. It's not a good look. Barack Obama, when he left office, he didn't look good. He looks good now. He rejuvenated. But this job takes the life out of you. And I believe that the Lions have enough talent to win 6 games this year.
I think they've got to win 5. I think if they don't win 5 games, I think Dan Campbell gets fired. I really believe that. I don't think it's an automatic that he comes back. I think he's got to win at least 5 games. 5, he's back. If he comes, last year they were really bad and they won 3 games.
Yeah.
If he does not get 5 this year, in a year where I think a lot of people believe they were going to win 7 or 8, I think that was a legitimate, number of wins that you could see, because this thing is not getting better. And not only that, I think you're going to learn a lot about these guys if you haven't learned a lot about them already, based on what they do this week against the Green Bay Packers. Guys, the Green Bay Packers have played 8 games. They have scored under 20 points in half their games.
Yeah.
They have never...
Time to get right.
They have never scored 30 points this year. 8 games, no games at 30 points. 4 games, half their games, they've scored 20 or less. Less than 20, I should say.
They lost 4 straight.
If they come in to Ford Field and put up a 30 spot against these Lions, this thing, man, if it's not dead and gone already, I don't think they win 2-3 games.
Well, I'll tell you the vibe downtown yesterday, because, we do the pregame from the brass rail and the postgame. Like, it was majority Dolphins fans, and I'm kind of afraid for what's going to happen next week with Packer fans. When Packer fans come in the building, I've been there on Thanksgiving Day games where the Packers fans take over, and you got to have some words with some unfriendly cheeseheads, and I don't want to go down that road. But Ford Field is losing its luster as a home field advantage.
Home field, no doubt about it.
They've never really had a home field advantage.
No great.
They did. Come on.
Never.
Come on. Now you're bashing the fans, though, because the fans provided this team.
Fault.
No.
It's not our fault.
But
We've never given them a product.
Early in the season that Ford Field wasn't an advantage when they were getting loud and causing all, like, I was at that Seahawks game. It was loud as hell. They were doing their thing. The fans do give them that home field advantage. The Lions haven't taken advantage of it. That's the difference.
There you go.
There is a home field advantage in front of playing 65,000 screaming Lions fans. I've seen it. I saw it when the Job at Best run happened like 8 years ago. I've seen it in big moments. Ford Field can get loud and can be an advantage. It's just when your team doesn't win, who the hell's excited to go?
Hey, we just got this in courtesy of our own Matty Miller. This is Dan Campbell talking about the firing of Aubrey Pleasant, Lions defensive backs coach. Here you go.
I think Aubrey's a hell of a coach. I got a ton of respect for him. It was a tough decision. But we're in a production-based business, and after 7 weeks, it's just felt like this change needed to be made.
And again, just some numbers on the Detroit Lions. They have, league high 32 points a game. They've given up 225 points in 7 games. They've allowed 24 points, at least 24 points in 9 straight games. Yesterday, 8 of 12 on third down with the Miami Dolphins. And just some of the statistics yesterday, 20 catches for Waddle and Hill together, 294 yards combined, and 2 touchdowns. Guys, they had to do something, whether it was putting a Band-Aid on this or something. You have to just respond. You can't just let this thing go like
he did the right thing today. You know, I feel bad that Aubrey lost his job. You all remember last year when he was giving it to Jeff Okudah on the sidelines. That's the guy we're talking about, Aubrey Pleasant. The defensive backs coach is no longer here. Brian Duker has taken over in the interim basis. By the way, yesterday, Jeff Schwartz from Sirius NFL, used to play for the NFL, played offensive line about 8 years. He says, I don't know how Dan Campbell stays in his job much longer. And Lion fans did react to it, and they're like, well, he's got a 6-year deal. It's the Lions. They give it the whole spiel. He's not going to get fired. But there are some national guys now looking at us differently. Remember the first 4 weeks they were looking at us saying we're the darling of the NFL. We might even get flexed to a Sunday or a Monday game eventually. Well, that ain't going to happen. But nonetheless, it is what it is. The cards are dealt. They got to beat the Packers next week or all hell could break loose.
I love this from the WoodwardSports.com chat. Bunch of people, Cheech and Mike G. Aubrey was just the fall man. And Thomas Perry says that too. And that's exactly my takeaway from this. It was, hey guys, we lost again. Well, somebody's got to get fired. Pull a name out of the hat. All right, defensive backs coach. See ya. And next week, if they lose, it's going to have to be somebody else. Because they got to at least show that they're trying to make progress, right? Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do, but to me, this isn't enough progress.
I need to see something out of Hutchinson. I need to. I need to see something. Line coach. What happened to Pascal yesterday? I didn't hear his name. I don't know. I mean that. I didn't hear his name. Did he do anything?
Let me pull it up. I don't believe I heard his name either. But again, I want to take what Bubba Baker said on Friday and kind of blame the coaching staff a little bit. And I understand that Hutchinson needs to be better. He does. He has been completely, other than 5 plays, really, in 7.
He's no-showed 3 games out of the game so
7 games.
far.
You just shouldn't have a stat line like this if you're Aiden Hutchinson. 1 tackle, 0 solo tackles, 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss, 0 passes defense. I'm looking for Pascal. Josh Pascal, 2 tackles, no solo tackles. Now, we can sit here and make excuses for Aiden Hutchinson and Pascal and every other player. I don't know if this is a coaching thing or not. Because, again,
he ain't helping.
He was going up against a 3-time Pro Bowler yesterday. It's a really tough game to go up against. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler, that tackle he was going up against yesterday. I'm not making excuses for him, but I just think this coaching staff is a disaster. You can't be that good of a player and not make any tackles, not make any impact on defense whatsoever. So I'll just go with what Al Bubba Baker said and say he's just thinking too much out there. They've got to make it simpler for him.
On the bright side, as you heard at halftime yesterday, Chris Spielman announced that the Lions will unveil a statue of Barry Sanders at Ford Field next year.
Does it come with a fax machine?
It's great.
Does not.
No.
He's not carrying a fax. He's carrying a football.
God.
I still think I'm the only one bitter at Barry Sanders in this entire state.
You are the only one. Yeah.
I still hold that grudge against him for retiring during training camp via fax from Europe, and now we're going to celebrate him.
Forgiveness is one of life's great lessons.
I don't have that.
Guys, we're going to talk to Matt Charboneau coming up top of the hour, just about 15 minutes from now. We'll get his take on Michigan State. Also, we'll get our take next. What is going on in this rivalry? What happened on the field? What happened off of it? We'll get to it all next, but first a message from Swiss.
Yeah, Swiss Insurance and their employees are heavily involved in their community, and if you are like them, it's very rewarding, but it comes with great responsibility. If you sit on a local youth sports board, homeowners association, or a volunteer coach, directors or officers, insurance is a must, and that is where Swiss can help you out. Call them today. It is Swiss Insurance, or shoot them an email, mark@swissins.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, who wants to win front row tickets to see Green Bay and Detroit coming up this Sunday down at Ford Field? Well, you got to get busy because we're going to be picking the winner on Friday. How do you get involved? You know it. You got to turn in your best video impersonation of Dan Campbell. Could be the sad Dan Campbell. Could be excited Dan Campbell. Whatever Dan Campbell you want to do, get it on video and send it to us. You got to put it out on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag Woodward Front Row. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports. Of course, we're going to select 3 winners. They each get a pair of tickets to see Green Bay and Detroit. Front row, man. That's right. Right where the photographers sit. Front row at Ford Field coming up on Sunday. We pick the winner this Friday, so hurry up and get those entries in.
Can you say one nice thing about a Michigan State fan?
No. Michigan State's going to get their ass kicked. That's all. I think they're going to lose by 40. 100%. JJ, he's going to toss it over the top. I don't know their DBs, but they suck.
Do you know what trophy they're playing for today? The Heisman. Yeah.
It's really cute and really sweet of them to show up to the game. I'll give them that. But I just don't think they have it this year. I just don't.
Stop burning couches, because that's what losers do.
Tuck is coming!
A lot of tears tonight when Tuck comes.
A lot of tears for Blue. Are you bowl eligible, yes or no?
Tuck is damn coming. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Tuck will be coming tonight.
Tuck coming!
Tuck will be coming tonight.
Tuck is coming! Look out! Go green! You guys are done for! My balls are green!
Want to thank Gabby for getting those prior thoughts on the Michigan State game. Michigan gets a 29-7 win over Michigan State.
Boring.
It was a terrible football game. I'll tell you, it was a really boring football game. Lots of excitement at the end. Let me first say this about everything. And I think the fight at the end, I think it kind of encompassed everything about this rivalry and what it's turned into. I actually, even my how I feel about it. I hated my own tweets about the game. I woke up Sunday and I was like, oh shit, man, the rivalry is completely toxic and it's not fun anymore. It's just not. From Twitter to fan bases to the game to the fight to the reaction to the fight, who's blaming who for the fight, what's going to happen now. I think it's just all freaking toxic. And I want to take a step back from it myself. I don't like what it does to me even. I think I'm a pretty normal guy, pretty nice guy. You're all right. I'm the biggest freaking jerk. Michigan State week. That's not who I am. I'm not a fighter, but come Michigan State week, I'm like, come on, let's go, come on.
But honestly, the fact that you're realizing it and you can go back and audit your own Twitter and be like, wait, that's not who I am, because
I couldn't delete them this time around though. I couldn't delete them. I had to leave them out. But again, it's just not fun anymore. It doesn't bring out the best in anybody.
Well, I've said this before. I don't have a dog in this fight, right? So I've been able to kind of remove myself and watch this happen. And you are dead right. Over the past couple years, both sides have been ignorant kids just going at it for no reason and like personal. And I've seen friends get in fights over this. And you're right, it's only crept up over this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with Michigan, the Harbaugh situation, where everybody thought he was a failure for a little bit, but now he's coming on like Jim Harbaugh that we thought he was gonna. But then you had all the hope for Michigan State with a Tuck come in, and they had their great year last year, and pride gets involved in this. But no, you're 100% right, and I've said this on this network. Both sides act like morons sometimes. Not all the time, because I love both sides too. I root for Michigan, I root for Michigan State, but it all came to a head in the tunnel. But I will say this, we were out there for the pregame tailgating in Ann Arbor Pioneers parking lot. Anson was out there in his Michigan State shirt. Braylon was out there in his Michigan stuff. And it was, in the tailgate, it was very respectful.
Yeah.
Everybody was having a good time. There may have been some go blue, go green said back and forth in jest, but I didn't see a bunch of like beefed up dudes trying to fight each other in the parking lot, which I thought was very nice. But then come game time, you know what happens.
Crazy.
Listen to me, man. I came here in 1993. I've always been a Michigan fan. That's who I grew up loving. Long before a lot of you guys are even on this Woodward Sports chat were even born. I do truly love. I'm not a Walmart Wolverine. I didn't go there. But it was the first stop I made when I moved to Michigan. I had my then fiance said, I want to go. Take me right now to the big house. I went to the big house. I went in that stadium. The usher let me in. Took many pictures. Just laid on the grass. That's the place I always wanted to be at. So when I came here, I had no hate for Michigan State. I didn't hate them. I was like, Ohio State, Michigan, that's the rivalry. But the more I've lived here, the more angry I get. And once Mark D'Antonio came in, he changed me. He came in as the bully. I know you're going to say Mike Hart said what he said. He's a kid. This is a grown man. It's not over. It's not over. It's just beginning. Pride comes before the fall. Pride comes before the fall.
But State needed that at that point.
That's fine. I'm just telling you how it made me feel. Since that day when he came in, I just hated them. And the fans, not fans. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like them. I don't know what it is. Wannabes, call them, whatever. I don't know. They're jealous, whatever. I don't get it. But it is what it is. My daughter goes to Michigan State. I pay money to Michigan State. I can't stand them. And what I always tell you, I'd rather beat Michigan State than Ohio State. I have no hate to Ohio State. I truly don't.
I don't hate Ohio State. I don't know what's going on.
I
hate Ohio State.
I want to win this game. And you know what, Saturday? I hated Saturday because they didn't beat the living shit out of them.
I agree with you 1,000,000% on this topic. I hated that Michigan only won by 22 points.
That was a loss to me.
I hated that.
Last year was a loss. Come on.
This is a loss.
This is not a loss. Beating your rival by 22 is a loss.
That's a loss.
Get out of here.
Well, they should have pounded.
See, and this is where it gets off the rails, though. This is exactly what Ermanni's talking about. Beating your rival by 22 is no longer good enough.
By the way,
do you want to pants them in front of the nation?
By the way, Vegas, what's the spread? 22.
They nailed it.
What the hell?
They know what they're doing.
What are they? They're like the devil.
Yeah.
They're the devil.
They're not there because they lose, man. Vegas is not built upon naming bad lines.
Football game.
Yeah. So again, there's some. We could talk about the game. We could talk about the. We could talk about the fight in the thing, and we will do that. Big picture on the rivalry. It's not good for anybody. I think, and I was talking to Neil Rule about this earlier today, and I think Neil is kind of right in the head. It's almost like becoming like such a political thing, like the far right and the far left. Nobody in the middle. It's almost like you have far left and far right just coming together that week and being forced to kind of hang out together and be forced to be together.
No, and as someone in the middle too, I feel that because people put me on those. Wait, you're not rooting against Michigan?
Right.
No, I'm not rooting.
You're just forced to be together that week, and it does not bring the best out of anybody. It doesn't bring the best out of me. It doesn't bring the best out of the players. It doesn't bring the best out of the fans. It doesn't bring the best out of the university.
So what's the solution?
Well, I can only speak for myself.
Okay.
I am like kind of done fueling this fight. Like I am not enjoying this rivalry anymore. I think what happened in that tunnel was a microcosm of what this rivalry has become, and it has become completely toxic with hate fueling on both sides. And I'm gonna try. I'm a sports fan first and foremost before anything else. I'm a Michigan fan. I say we when it comes to Michigan because they got $100,000 of my money. $100,000 of my money. So I say we when
at least.
At least. So I say we because I feel part of it at Michigan. And I don't want any part of it anymore. I don't like it. I think it's stupid. It's a football game, and we're getting noses broke, and we're getting people are tweeting mug shots and stuff of people and stuff like that. I mean, who's having fun with that?
It's interesting though, because even though your team won, you're like, I'm done with this. How would you have felt if they lost and then all this transpires too?
But can I say something on the side?
I know, but it's just interesting to think about that, right? Because even though you got what you wanted, you still didn't get what you wanted, right?
I don't put any hate out on social media. None. Everything I hate is I keep internal. I
internalize my hate.
I bust balls, but inside me is where my hate is. And it's sports hate, by the way. All right? I don't hate anybody. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But I don't put anything out there, and I don't deal with the trolls or anything like that. They could all go to hell, as far as I'm concerned. I don't play that game.
Podcasters.
I didn't watch you on Twitter on Saturday because I'm flipping channels to the World Series. I don't give a shit, really, about what anyone else says on Twitter. It's just a bunch of bull to me. But I really, no hate outly. I'll take my hate inside. Thank you.
I think that is why I like the amount of and granted we give our opinions, right? And the amount of hate that both Braylon and I get specifically, and Maz, you too.
Over the years?
Over the years.
Oh my God.
Based on this rivalry because of how we feel about our sports opinion about our rival. It just doesn't make it fun anymore. It doesn't make it fun anymore, and it brings hate out of us.
And once
I
again,
don't hate Ohio State. I don't. I respect the hell out of Ohio State, and to a large part, I respect Michigan State's program. I just don't like their fans. I really don't like Michigan State fans.
The only thing I like on Michigan State is Tom Izzo.
Yeah.
Other than that, you could have them.
And from an outsider perspective, y'all the same thing. It's like that Spider-Man meme when you're both pointing at each other. Both Big Ten schools, both have successful basketball, both have successful football programs. And that's where I think the visceral hate is coming from, because they're pretty level on a lot of things. Not everything, but on a lot of things. So watching two guys that are almost the same person hating each other for being like them, it's like, bro, you're kind of hating on the mirror.
I also like my guys that cover Michigan State.
Yeah.
I don't hate them either.
No, yeah, I know. It's just the fans, based on this thing, right? Based on this thing, you have a 24/7 kind of bully pulpit. And look, I will look at myself in the mirror. Like, my tweets on Saturday night were like, I was stoking that fire.
I didn't see him.
Well, yeah, no, I was just going to say, I don't even want to revisit it. But what I'm saying is, it brings out the worst in me. You know what I mean? It brings out the worst in me, and I think it brought out the worst in these players. And I hate this for these players. Again, today, Michigan State, we are suspending Tank Brown, Kerry Crump, Angelo Gross, and Zion Young effective immediately. They will not be at team meals, team meetings, practices. They will still be able to get their education. And then Jaden McBurrows and Jamon Green. Apparently you got some kid walking around with a broken nose. Both coaches expect criminal charges, to be filed in this.
I think that's a little far.
Well, whatever you think about it.
Maybe it's a lesson.
Whatever you think about it, and whatever you think about it, whatever I think about it, if it actually comes to fruition, it doesn't matter what we think about, if that's what you're talking about here. So now these players who tried to just play in a football game are going to have criminal records because Again, this rivalry brings out the absolute worst in people. Brings out the worst in me. It brings out the worst in everybody.
Are we going to talk more about the fight?
We will do so. We've got Matt Charboneau. We've got him next. We'll see if we can talk to Matt about that. But first, a message from SMA.
SMA, if you're struggling with anything in your life, whether it be addiction or just mental health issues, SMA is here to get you through. We know that life is a struggle for everybody.
How about MSU hate? Could I go to SMA for MSU hate?
You may need to, Maz.
Okay.
We'll start an MSU
Sean.
Hater Anonymous
Talk to
Club.
Sean Jordan.
Hi, I'm Maz. I've been hating MSU for 2 years. No, but either way, SMA, they will help you get through the struggles of daily life, and they do it in the best way possible. They even have a podcast called This is the S Word, where they are trying to break down the word stigma, so nobody has to feel some type of way about coming and getting some help. We're men. It's tough for us sometimes, but just do it. Reach out. SMA, Sports Marketing Agency, is here for you.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey everybody, only at Big Frog can you get yourself a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Stop in today, tell them we sent you, and they will hook you up by printing you out one right on the spot. So stop in today at Big Frog in Novi to get your free Woodward Sports t-shirt, or check them out online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program here. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Braylon out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Stick in for Braylon. We'll talk to Matt Charboneau just a little bit in just a couple of minutes. Stick, you wanted to comment on this video, though.
Yeah, just because I feel like my take is a little bit different than most of the people I've heard. I don't think this is that big of a deal. And I know it's going to come across as shocking to a lot of people, but I've seen this at the high school level. I've seen this at the little league level. I've seen this at the professional level. This is what happens when testosterone-driven human beings get shoved in a small area and some jawing starts happening. All you need is one guy to throw the first punch, and next thing you know, it's a melee. It's absolutely insane. Now, does this look bad on optics? Of course it does. And do we live in a society where now it's on film and it's out there in front of everybody? But if I just told you without seeing the film there was a scuffle in the tunnel after the game, nobody would give a damn. It almost like last week against Penn State. There was some pushing and shoving, going back and forth. I get it looks a little weird because they're swinging helmets, but you look at Myles Garrett. He did that in the NFL. So a lot of people, I feel, are turning this into something like massively, like it's ruining the rivalry. It's changed the game.
I think that.
Yeah, you're not the only one, and that's why I'm saying, like, I'm wondering if I'm wrong by thinking this way because I'm hearing from so many other people that this is such a massive deal. But I think it's boys will be boys. These are 18-year-old college kids who have all their pride on the line. They've been chirping each other all week. You saw number one, Andrell Anthony, follow them in.
That was Jaden McBurrows.
That was the number one?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have like 16 number ones.
Yeah, that's one thing I hate about college football. But either way, you saw him walking into the tunnel with the team chirping him. I don't know. Nobody here knows what was said. Nobody here knows what made that pop off. The only thing we know is on sight it looks disgusting. And we can at least all agree on that. I just think it's boys will be boys.
It all started on the field. You know that. Right after the game, the referees, I think 7 of the officials ran off the field right off the beginning. If you watched halftime, they let each team go in separately. But at the end of the game, it's a different beast. You got Paul Bunyan running up and down the field with the Paul Bunyan trophy with the kids. They were mixing it up on the field as it was. It gets it to the.
You see it every year in college, though.
It gets it to the tunnel, and our good buddy Matt Charboneau happened to be there. I'm surprised he didn't get stampeded. We could ask him about that now. But, you know, it was ugly.
Well, let's bring him on. Michigan State beat reporter for the Detroit News. His video has been seen millions of times now. Matt, thanks so much for the time, my friend. First and foremost, describe for me what, from your vantage point, what was going on in the tunnel after that game.
Yeah, I mean, chaos is the one word I used right away because, as you guys probably know, that it's really narrow, kind of narrow in that tunnel, and when all the players are in it, you don't really see that well down the hill, because it goes downhill to the field. And really, it started as the interview room for us is right next to the visiting locker room. So we had just kind of gotten there a couple minutes early, and the players, you saw them start to come up, and you're just hearing a lot of trash talking back. And so it was kind of like, well, I'm just going to wait, see what's happening. And really all I saw coming at me was a mass of players in Michigan State uniforms. That's all you could really see. And then at some point you realize, wait a minute, they're fighting or something's going on, because there was only the one Michigan player at that point. It was hard to really pick him out of the mass of Michigan State players, and then it just kind of spilled right into the area we were at. It happened to fall kind of right in front of us, and then that's when you got a good look at the fact that there was a Michigan player on the ground at that point. And then people are getting up, and you kind of saw something going on at the other end of the other side of the tunnel, which apparently I think is the video we've seen from other people of the potential helmet swing there. So it was all happening at once. A lot of screaming and yelling, obviously. So chaos is the best word I could come up with of what was going on for a couple of minutes there.
Hey, Matt, I'm not sure if you were able to hear anything prior to coming on with us, but one of the things that I thought that fight was to me, and it just kind of really encompasses where this rivalry has become. Like, I think this rivalry brings out the worst in people, and it's totally toxic. I even call out myself. Like, this rivalry, as a Michigan guy, brings out the worst in me, and I'm not sure when this happened. When this crossover happened, I feel like this rivalry is completely toxic now, where both sides just completely hate each other. What's your perspective on it? You've been around a long time.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like that I guess it ramping up a little bit did happen right around, the whole little brother thing. And here's the thing about it. We've done the whole little brother thing ad nauseum, whatever. We get it. But I think Mark D'Antonio was one of the first coaches in a while, and for me certainly, that really made it clear that to him, this rivalry was the most important thing, but not just like, you just had to win that game and that was it. His belief was if you were going to be able to beat Michigan and control this rivalry, that meant you were also a championship team. And I think that's why he made it such a big deal, right? And Mike Hart certainly helped him in that sense. But just from that point, I don't know if from there, it seems like it has just become, as you said, it's just more toxic, more nasty. You see a lot of the former players kind of jumping in with it too. To me, that's probably the point. I'm not going to say, it's Mark D'Antonio's fault or it's Mike Hart's fault. I don't know if it's anyone's fault. It's just that from that point on, it feels like it's gotten to be more and more every year. Is it because Michigan State started winning and Michigan
couldn't take it.
They controlled it for a long time,
Right.
So maybe that's the realization of, we have to start putting this in the level of Ohio State. I don't know. It's hard to say why, but it certainly has. It's had that feel for quite a while now, and that's, to me, you go back around then is when it started to turn that way.
So let me ask you just about the news today. Brown, Crump, Gross, and Young suspended effective immediately. How do you think Mel Tucker has handled this? And what are these young? Look, I'll never judge anybody by their worst moment, but where do these kids go from here? I mean, potentially criminal charges now on this, potentially, off the football team for good. I don't know what, being suspended, is it forever, or do they have, how does this work?
Yeah, I think we're going to find that out. I mean, obviously there's this, I don't see them playing this week, but as Mel Tucker said today, he said, we'll decide on that once the investigations are complete. Is he waiting, for some charge to be filed to then dismiss them from the team or suspend them for the rest of the season? I mean, I'm sure some of that is being weighed as they figure out where that goes. In terms of how he's handled it since that night ended, I'm not sure how else you do handle it other than what he's doing right now. I wish that night, in the post game when he came out and said, I don't know what's going on, so I can't comment on it. And that's fine, because I'm sure he didn't know exactly what was going on. But at some point in that comment, say something about the fact of whatever it was that happened is unacceptable. We can't have people fighting in the tunnel. We can't have players acting that way. You didn't hear any of that night, so that was a little disappointing. But I think from this point on, he's doing what you have to do. And it's hard to argue when you look at that video of certainly of the guys that he's already suspended. Now, I guess there's an ABC video that's coming out. Maybe that shows a little more because he did leave that open. There could be other players. There could be more coming as they see more stuff and hear more from the investigation. So I'm not sure exactly where it goes or the time for those guys. I don't know if I would think that they're going to be dismissed from the team at this point, but who knows? With the investigation going, it might lead to that. I know Damon Green's dad is very upset. Angelique Chingelis talked to him, and they're talking about pressing charges. I believe he was the one that was hit with the helmet. So there's no telling where this is going right now. But for those four players, they could be out this week. They could be out for the rest of the season. Could be off the team. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
Hey, Matt, can we keep you for 60 seconds? I want to talk about actually what's going on the field as well, if that's okay.
Sure, yep.
Great. Okay, we're going to stick around, talk to Matt Charboneau, Michigan State beat writer for the Detroit News. We'll do that next, but first a message from the Folding Warehouse.
All right, fellas, down in Hamtramck, Michigan, Chris Hutt, the inventor of this fun game, football and bowling at the Folding Warehouse. Get your foal on. Get on down there. 2 ways to play. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation for 2 hours. Run you $120, but you get to put 10 or 12 people on a lane. Multiple full bars and a great beer menu, over 100 beers that they offer you, plus the $2 mystery beer machine. Feel free to bring your own food in or even have it delivered. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey everybody, it's JB here to let you know about Planet Fitness and how they are home to your judgment-free zone.
No judgments!
What's up, Ryan? Where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym has always been known to be clean, but now it is cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. Best part about all of this, you get it all just for $10 a month. Yes, that's right. $10 a month.
Only
right?
$10?
Yeah, $10 a month.
Get that black card.
So join In Club today or check them out at planetfitness.com.
Welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards out today. Maz is here. Stick in the house for Braylon. We got Fletch, we got JB, and we've got Michigan State beat reporter for the Detroit News, Matt Charboneau, back with us. Now, Matt, I want to talk about what's going on the field here, and we'll stick with the Spartans. 3-5 on the year. Is that? Geez, are they 3-5?
Am I reading this right?
Look, I don't know how many people expected 11 wins last year. I don't know how many people expected 5 losses this year, potentially, teetering on not being bowl eligible. Where is the program right now, and is there any wavering in Mel Tucker here at this point?
Well, I mean, I think within the program and within the administration, there's not any wavering. I mean, let's be honest. As much as people talk about the contract, when you do that, I mean, you're saying this is our guy. You don't see too many administrations bail on a guy, a year after signing that sort of contract. So I think just in that sense, this is going to be your guy for the next couple of years at least. In terms of what we expected, I didn't think the 11 wins was a little bit of a, some things went your way, and I think a lot of people believe that there'd be a drop off this year. I don't think people expected 3-5 to this point. To lose 4 in a row the way they did, there's a lot of frustration there. The depth still isn't there. You've had a few decommitments in the class that they have committed. That's got to be a little bit of a concern right now. But I feel like if you can find a way, however it is, it seems like a long shot now, somehow get to 6 wins in a bowl game, hold together what's left of that class, add a few more guys, maybe you feel like the trajectory of the program overall is still going the right way. But we'll have to see how that plays out. What happened the other night doesn't help. They got to hope you don't see any more of those decommitments. But it's going to take some time for the depth and all those things. But I know fans are frustrated. They're frustrated with coordinators, and they should be. Will Mel Tucker make some moves there after the season? I think that's potential to almost likely. But in terms of his security and all that, I don't think that's a concern just yet. I think that would take some time to get to that point.
Hey, Matt, some of our media brethren out there are saying Jim Harbaugh is to blame for this little fight in the tunnel. I mean, I don't know how they're going that route. What is your whole take on the whole thing here? The way the game ended on the field and the way, obviously, these kids made it into the tunnel. Should that tunnel be redone, period? Well, James Franklin-esque.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little narrow. It's not the perfect setup, but there's a lot of places that have one tunnel. I mean, Michigan State has one tunnel. I don't know if I think that's kind of a convenient thing to say. Oh well, they got to do something about the tunnel. In a perfect world, would you have 2 different spots to go? Sure, but I don't think that's changing. The whole idea. Everyone wants to place blame. Look. We can be here all day doing that. We could say, should those 2 guys have gone up the tunnel? Probably not. We could say all sorts of things. The bottom line is when you're in that situation, should you start pounding on a guy with 10 guys? Should you be hitting a guy with a helmet? No. No matter what was said, no matter what those guys, I'm also not naive enough to think they're just, minding their own business, whistling a tune as they go up the tunnel. I heard plenty of trash talking going on. But still, I don't think anything justifies the way those Michigan State players acted. It just doesn't. So, you could say, oh, should Jim Harbaugh have done this? Or should Michigan as a program do this? Or should they have the tunnel a different way? Maybe all those things are justified, but you can't at any point get to the conclusion of this and say those Michigan State players were justified in what they did. You just can't. So maybe there's some small changes in the way they operate, but this really falls on the action of a few of those guys that acted the way they did.
So, Matt, joining us, maybe you can shed a little more light on this because nobody really knows how this thing started. Like, nobody knows what was said. We're all just kind of seeing the aftermath, and that kind of what happens when you get in a fight. It's always the second guy. You see the reaction. You don't see. From your perspective and from what you saw, because obviously you didn't see everything on a full scale, was there one side or the other instigating this more, or is it just You 1 minute nothing, the next minute snaps and everything's going on. You just got your camera out just in time.
Yeah, well, getting out just in time is right because, as I said, where we were, you kind of the way that tunnel is, it flattens towards the end of it, but it goes down toward the field, and they're all coming up in the field, and really all we saw from our perspective, because most of the Michigan State guys were coming up the tunnel, you're seeing kind of just this mass of players walking up. What I know that happened is what I was hearing. I was hearing a lot of yelling back and forth, so my assumption was there were Michigan players down there somewhere in that I couldn't really see, but you could hear the trash talking and yelling and back and forth. So that's kind of why we hung around there. At what point it actually started, at what point did someone push or punch or whatever somebody?
Right.
That I don't know. That we didn't see. I haven't seen a video out there that shows that. Certainly a lot of players, I'm sure, and people in that tunnel will be or were interviewed by police if they saw it. From our vantage point, we couldn't see exactly why it started, at what point it started. We were kind of more at a point where it had already started going, and we were kind of where it all culminated is where we have to be standing. So I've gotten that a lot of how it started. Did you see what happened? And it's unfortunately we did not see that part. Just heard a lot of yelling and.
Because it changes the whole context of things, right? If the Michigan player runs up and punches a Michigan State player in the back of the head and his team turns around and defends him, it's not as egregious. Or if the Michigan State players just see this guy and attack him on sight, now all of a sudden, there's so much that we don't know how it transpired. But you did say you heard some trash talking going on. Was the context of that more about the rivalry and within the game, or was it more of like a personal attack type thing?
Yeah, that's also tougher because you're down the tunnel and it's echoing and you're hearing they're yelling back and forth. As they get closer to you and they're actually fighting, then it's just personal stuff. They're just yelling at everybody. So what it was earlier that really got people fired up, I don't know. I can't say whether they were being personal, whether it was just, hey, we just beat your whatever it was.
Right.
It's just hard for me in the position I was in. I just don't know that at this point.
And how was your adrenaline during that time, man? How were you feeling?
I was just trying to make sure. I just had to make sure I knew how to do the phone. I was a lot of times I'm not very good at that. A lot of times, and I'm like, oh, that's actually working. And I held the phone up, and the phone saw better than I did because I was behind a couple guys. And I'm not that tall, so I just did what I could, and then looked at the video and went, uh-oh.
We got something here.
Unbelievable.
You did a great job, Matt.
Yeah,
great job.
Great job, Matt. We can't thank you enough for joining us today. It's just, again, man, I don't know. I think the rivalry is completely toxic, and I think that fight was a real microcosm of where we are together, Michigan State. It just all feels so nasty right now. And again, I speak for myself. I don't like what it does to me. I think it turns me into a terrible human being. So thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, buddy.
You got it. Guys.
Hey, Matt, make sure you give your wife a big hug from us. Give Corey a big hug from us.
I will. Appreciate it.
You got it. Matt Charboneau, Detroit News, Michigan State beat reporter. And again, this, Maz, is this new, the ABC angle?
Brand new, ESPN.
We'll try to get that to you. We'll try to get it next. I do want to talk a little football if I can.
I know.
If we can. But how about this? How about we try to get this ABC tunnel cam into the system? We'll play that for you guys next. And then I do want to talk some football today if we can, but first a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan, though. Allocation coming in. They got cars. They got SUVs. They got whatever you want. And it's right down the road in Michigan Avenue in the great city of Dearborn.
Your oil change.
I just got my oil changed there. Absolutely. Great service department as well. In and out of that service department. Friendly faces and all that. So why stroll when you can roll? Get off your heels and into some wheels. Come on down today, practically giving them away at Les Stanford Chevrolet and Cadillac. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Fine. New roads. Find them.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey everybody, Alta
Uptime,
Equipment.
it matters.
It does. Uptime matters on Alta Equipment. They got everything you need to get the job done and on time. You have a big project coming up? Well, give them a call. Alta Rentals got you covered. Call them today. 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni and Stick is here today in for Braylon. Tom Mazawey, we got Fletch and JB. Braylon will be back tomorrow. So we got this video, and I want to courtesy Brad Galley on this, Channel 7 in Detroit. He's put this up. So we have video. Maz, describe this for us. This is the tunnel cam
ESPN
from ESPN
ABC.
This is something we have not seen before, the vantage point of this camera. So let's just play it.
Let's do it. Let's see what it looks like.
Is there audio on here?
Yep.
All right, so we'll talk over it just so we don't get pulled down. We certainly don't want to do that.
God forbid there's sound dribbling in from the outside.
Exactly. So you can kind of see a player from Michigan State swing his helmet. There you see it right there. I don't know if you saw that at the top or not. But that does not look good. That does not look good.
Look at that, man.
Yeah, that does not look good at all. There's clearly a helmet being swung there. And it just can't happen. And look, you can blame McBurrows for walking up the tunnel. You can blame Jamon Green. Jamon Green's a good player. And if he's going to be out for any extended period of time, I think Angelique said that, according to Matt Charboneau, that Jamon Green's dad is pissed about this.
They want to press charges on their own.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a severe injury, or even if this is something that's going to keep him out a week or two or the rest of the season, whatever, that's just a terrible, terrible thing, and it should not happen. And, Matt, just this thing about the tunnel.
Yeah.
They've been playing football at Michigan State for 95 years.
I know. Ever since Lloyd Carr got his name on it, it's nothing but it's kind of hell.
They've been playing this for 95 years at Michigan Stadium. Yeah. They have only had problems, real problems, the last two games. And I wouldn't even say that the Penn State game was a real problem. It was a bunch of
How about
John.
Ohio State last year? Was that nothing?
It was a bunch of John and maybe some pushing and
Okay.
shoving. But, I mean, not like that. I mean, that's...
Do you guys think because this is in our backyard that we're being a little more sensitive to it? Because when this happens between Miami and Florida State, it's like, oh, you see that brawl between Miami and Florida State. Now that's here, it's like, oh, the programs. Oh, what do we do? Oh, these kids, everything's out of control. Like I was just telling you guys during the break, I'm literally watching a fight right now between Ole Miss and LSU women's soccer that happened on the field yesterday. But nobody cares here about that, do they?
No,
but that's why I think because it happened in our backyard, everybody's taking this a lot more personal and a lot more level than
that game doesn't have 5 million viewers on ABC.
But the tunnel didn't have 5 million viewers either. You know
well,
what I mean?
The game did, and so
but
it
it's still
draws a lot of
violence
interest.
after a game. That's why
What's going to happen in this? What's going to happen in that case, though?
I don't know.
Anybody
I don't
get
know.
suspended?
But I think everybody's getting too excited about this. Everybody wants to. Their side was
Dude, you
right,
can't,
nobody knows who started it.
But it
nobody knows
matter.
anything. It does.
It does
Context
not
always
matter.
matters. Context always matters.
Stick.
Yes.
If Jade McBurrows is skipping along the side, he shouldn't be there. I mean, I think he should be with his teammates. But if he's skipping, whatever, talking a little, it does not warrant somebody to swing their helmet.
What if he swung first and we don't know that?
What if he did?
What if he didn't?
I don't
watch the video.
Yeah.
He didn't.
I mean,
play the video again.
We literally have 20 seconds of something that took 20 minutes to develop, and you're going to say you know everything about how it started? Even the guy on the scene said he didn't know how it started.
Stick, but
we can't pretend.
You're throwing out a hypothetical that is a total.
Everything's a hypothetical.
Complete hypothetical.
Everything you guys are saying is a hypothetical.
It's not.
It is.
It's based on video evidence.
Stick, who swung the helmet? End of conversation.
You have proof of who swung the helmet. You don't have proof of how, why.
I don't care. I don't care if he slept with his mother or his sister at the same time.
10 guys?
I don't give a damn.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, I'm trying not to argue with you.
You can though, because.
But I don't want to argue over dumb stuff.
It's not dumb to me. It's not dumb to me. If I'm with my boys and somebody hits my boy and we turn around and beat the hell out of that guy, it looks like, oh my God, these guys just jumped that dude. When in fact, we didn't just jump that dude.
Listen, I don't think that skinny number one skipping in was going to hit anybody. All right, I just don't.
You don't think. Once again,
okay.
Everybody's speaking in generalities because none of us know. So everybody quit acting like you know. Nobody knows.
I know one thing: the guy that hit Mel Tucker on the head got picked up, and he will never be at another Michigan game. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Someone hit Mel Tucker.
Yeah, the fan reached over and tapped him on the head, and Mel went after him.
Yeah.
And they caught the guy on surveillance, and he will no longer be allowed in Michigan Stadium.
Let me do this because I do want to get to what's happening on the field. What happened on the field? I know maybe
the game sucked.
The sexiest part is to talk about what happened off the field. But if I just want to touch on Michigan, I think they've got some real problems. I think this is the first time that I've really seen those problems be exhibited, and a lot of that is on offense. I think their defense is as good as anybody. I think their defense is going to keep them in the game against Ohio State, and they have a national championship winning defense. I will say that. This offense is concerning to me now.
Such a boring game plan.
Well, it was a boring game plan, number one, and number two, J.J. McCarthy only threw 6 completions to wide receivers. And I just don't think you can beat Ohio State like that.
No.
I don't think you can beat Georgia like that, Tennessee like that, Alabama like that, or anybody else that's going to make the college football playoff or potentially a Big Ten championship game, whatever the case may be. J.J. McCarthy has to be better, but I will say this, too. This game plan has to be a lot better. I think Michigan is confused. I think their offensive coordinators, their co-offensive coordinators, really don't know what they're doing right now. They don't know if they're a run team. They don't know if they're a quarterback team. J.J. McCarthy, there were 2 plays J.J. McCarthy, to me, showed you why he's playing instead of Cade.
He had 2 good escapes.
And again, those were 2 important escapes.
But Cade might have hit the receiver.
Oh,
I wrote you. He does nothing for me. I'm sorry. I like him. Good-looking kid, always smiling, has a great attitude. He's young yet.
I just think that's ridiculous.
He's young yet. He don't show me anything.
I think that's being ridiculous. I think now.
I saw what Cade did.
I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight with you now.
Don't fight
because Cade McNamara won a Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
He beat Ohio State. It was all great. He's not half the quarterback that J.J. McCarthy is.
He threw for 350 yards against that same team yesterday, except they're worse.
Right.
This year.
And one of those plays was like a 95-yard touchdown pass to Andrew Anthony.
Were you scared during the first quarter?
No.
When it was 7-3?
No.
I was never scared.
So let me be totally honest with you about this.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
The Lions were up 14-0 and 21-7. And never at any point did I think they were going to win the game. Never at any point on Saturday night did I think that Michigan was in fear of losing the game.
Because I was driving in the car, and I heard all of a sudden 7-3, and I'm like,
point.
oh, man.
But I do think
Sparty.
I do think there are real problems with Michigan. In the red zone, they're completely horrific. And I don't know if there's people calling different plays in the red zone that are calling them between the 20s. I don't know who's calling the game. I don't know if Harbaugh has any say. But the game plan was terrible. And I think you have got to have a game. I know they can run it. I know they can run it because they run it all the time. I think if you want to have a shot against Ohio State, you have got to have a JJ game. You've got to have a JJ game real soon to get JJ a little bit of confidence. Throw him the ball. How about a couple of quick completions to like Roman Wilson or something like that? Again, 6 completions to wide receivers. That's not good enough. This wide receiver core is, what did we say? The deepest it's been potentially ever at Michigan. How much talent they have collectively. Yes, they don't have that Braylon Edwards who's going to be the number 3 overall pick of the draft. They don't have that guy on their team. But from top to bottom, that's as deep a wide receiver room as you have seen in Ann Arbor for quite some time. And they had 6 completions to wide receivers in that game.
Do you think their schedule is going to hurt them down the road? Because like you're saying, they don't really have their identity of who they are yet. And I think it's just because it's been easy to turn around and hand the ball off to Blake Corum. It's been easy to turn around and hand the ball off to Donovan Edwards. You don't really have to develop that passing game when you're beating them at doing what you want to do. And that was one thing I took away Saturday from watching the Ohio State-Penn State game. Like, when Michigan was playing Penn State, it was run. They just ran all over them.
Why wouldn't you, though?
I'm with you. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, this is kind of why, because you want to work the passing game in there at some point. But if the running game's working so damn well, it's kind of like your boy Malik Willis, and the Tennessee Titans. Why would you make Malik Willis pass more than 10 times when Derrick Henry is running for 220 yards?
One pass in the second half from Malik Willis.
That's because he's a smart kid.
Yeah,
that's right.
No, but
it should be here.
Maz, we'll get you in. I want to get to a break and stay on time here. We'll get to a break, come right back. More on Michigan State. We'll go around the NFL a little bit, too, if we have time. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
The only only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
We're all here for the vibe. Go Green! Woo!
They know what happened last year and the year before, right? And we know what's going to happen this year. Go Green.
Michigan State money line. We'll see you tonight.
If you're a State fan, you're kind of just like a wannabe sports fan.
State could take a hike. Michigan's about to clap their cheeks. Honestly, this year, how has MSU performed? How have they? They're whack. They're slow. Michigan is just, we're the Kings this year. We're always the Kings. No.
The Wolverines are overconfident.
Well, no. Hey, we're going to beat them.
They are always overconfident.
We only listen to women out here. What's the question?
This is a team that lost to Minnesota, almost got shut out at home by Minnesota.
I think Michigan folds under pressure, and East Lansing's here to play. We're all here, we're all coming out, Tuck's freaking coming, and we're taking this bitch back to East Lansing. Go Green.
Go white,
Go
baby.
Green.
Yeah. Big football fan.
Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan.
Go blue. Go Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan.
God help us. God help us.
God bless Michigan State for their females.
God help us.
I want to thank Gabby for getting those.
Gabby's awesome.
Pregame tailgate parties. I hated the night game too, by the way. What a great day that would have been for a noon game. Are you kidding me? It was like 60 and sunny. The perfect fall afternoon for a football game, but Michigan does win it 29-7. I don't know where Michigan State goes from here. They got a long way to go. We talked to Matt Charboneau about that. I did not anticipate Michigan State being this bad to where they wouldn't be bowl eligible. But for Michigan, man, look, this is the first time I've really had some serious concerns with them, and it is as it relates to their offense. And I think they need a JJ game here, and be it on the road. I don't care if it's at Rutgers or what. They need to get a game where he throws it 30 times a game and blows up for about 250, 280, something like that. He needs that game. I have not seen it, and I think he's going to need it to beat an Ohio State, to beat a Georgia, to beat an Alabama, somebody like that. I need to see it. Tennessee for sure, because Tennessee scoring points like it's nobody's business. You want to keep pace with in a playoff game, in a 2-3 with Tennessee? Come on, man. Got to get going offensively here. This red zone is terrible.
Yeah, and not only do you have to do it in a game for multiple reasons, not only to prove to yourself that you can do it, but to put it on tape. Right? Mm-hmm. But if you want to look at the converse theory on that, if you keep it off tape, Ohio State has no way to prepare for it. So I can see both sides of the stone there, but really I'm with you. I want to at least see it game proven before they go in and play Ohio State. And once you put that on tape, now Ohio State at least has to spend some time preparing for the pass. Right now, if I'm Ohio State, I'm gearing up to stop the run, and only the run if I'm playing Michigan.
They haven't been really that great either. I mean, their games have been lackluster, to say the least. They
talking about Ohio
State. I mean, they're scoring.
They were down 21-16 in the fourth.
They're scoring at the end of these games and making it look like they're blowouts. And they beat Penn State by less than 2 touchdowns. I know Penn State usually gives them a good battle, but that's not a good Penn State team. That said, I watched Ohio State with my own eyes against Michigan State up close. And they are something to fear. All right, I'm not even paying attention to what they're doing so far because of the talent that they have on that team. They got C.J. Stroud, Marvin Harrison Jr., Smith and Jigba. They got an offensive lineman that's like 7 foot, 350 pounds. They got a lot of great players on that team. So I'm praying that Michigan is going to improve in the next month, because otherwise I don't see them beating Ohio State.
We've got so much to talk about, and we are running out of show here. I want to get to 2 major things that have happened today, one in college, one in the NFL. First, in college, guys, Auburn has fired their head coach, Brian Harsin. Brian Harsin, not even 2 full years into the job yet.
What have you done for me lately?
A year and a half on the job. He's 9-12 in 21 games. Again, not even 2 years in, and the guy that everybody's talking about now in terms of taking over, Deion Sanders.
Hey.
Deion Sanders is
Prime
good.
time.
And
Prime
did you
time.
see that 60
Prime
Minutes
time.
with Deion last week?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, not yesterday, but the week before. It was so good.
He's great. And he's great to talk to, man.
There was game day at Jackson State this week. He brings so much notoriety.
Energy.
And energy, and it's such an important thing, but they just simply don't have the resources. And one thing that he was talking about is he does feel an obligation. He would listen to a Power 5 school, a team in the SEC. He feels an obligation, too, to his assistant coaches. Not everybody's a former player, Deion Sanders, that, made millions and millions of dollars. These coaches are trying to feed their families, too. And I think that's something to think about. I think Deion's going to get a job. I think he's going this year. Whether it's Auburn, I don't know. But I think he's going this year.
I'm surprised Florida State never really just locked him up.
Can't
brought him back
believe
home.
it. Cannot believe
It is what it is.
I
But
think
their
they're waiting for him to
facilities
prove
aren't
himself.
very good either. Those facilities at Florida State are not good.
And let's be honest, just because you're Deion Sanders doesn't mean you're a great coach. You got to go earn your stripes at some point, too, and that's what he's doing. He's earning his stripes. Like, you get it in media. What was some first market you started out when you wanted to be?
Cadillac, Michigan.
That's how it is. And now, you're in a top 12 market, and that's how it is with coaching. Like, you got it. Very few people just fall into professional coaching or fall into a Power 5 job. You actually got to go do the work.
No doubt. And then today, Maz, we set up trade in the NFL.
Oh, my God. We said it. Last week, Roquan Smith was in tears over Robert Quinn getting traded from the Bears. Well, today he got his wish. He goes from the Bears to the Baltimore Ravens.
For a second
and a fifth round pick. I'll tell you, the Bears are retooling on the fly. They're playing hard. Matt Eberflus seems to get it. Their new GM. They traded some good talent away, man. Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn last week, 18.5 sacks. But the Bears, they seem to be playing hard and getting better as it is. And now they pick up a couple extra picks. They're retooling, man.
Let me tell you, the Chicago Bears rebuild is ahead of the Detroit Lions rebuild.
It is. And they have their quarterback.
Well, that's just it. This is year one for their coach. And I believe their general manager, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they both came in.
And they are ahead of where the Lions are in year two of a head coach, in year two of a general manager.
They're where the Lions would have been had they not gone the Patricia route, and they would have gone straight to Campbell.
So I disagree with that. I think the reason, and we can talk more about this tomorrow, Mass, the reason why the Chicago Bears are ahead of the Detroit Lions is very simple. They have their quarterback.
Yes, they do.
And that is why I always tell you the Detroit Lions rebuild does not officially start until the Lions get their quarterback in the future.
And then you need 3 years on top of that.
Yes.
You know why
At least
the Bears are ahead of us? Because they have a defense. It has nothing to do with their quarterback. You really think that's all on Justin Fields that they're ahead?
No, they have a good team. They always had a good defense.
They just got rid of their two best players.
If Justin Fields was on this team right now, do you think he'd be stopping anybody from scoring 49?
They just traded their two best players.
And they're still going to be fine because they have a good defense. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Quarterback of the future. And their quarterback of the future.
If Justin Fields was the quarterback of the Lions right now, how many wins would they have?
I don't know how to quantify that.
3 or 4.
He doesn't have a number one pick on his freaking offensive line. We got 3.
Can you name me one receiver of the Chicago Bears?
Mooney. That's it.
N'Keal Harry. I mean, I can name them all if you want. I'm a fantasy geek like that.
Oh, wow. Maybe that, yeah.
But no, the Bears
suck. That's what he means.
I don't know, man. The Bears right now, I think, are sitting in number 2 overall defense. Kind of helps a young quarterback. Yeah. Just saying.
They lost 49-29.
So why are you drafting a number 1 draft pick left tackle instead of the all-pro linebacker then? You want to go back to that? You want to go back?
I'm just saying.
I'll go back to that. I'll take Penei Sewell and I will build an identity.
Then you don't have a freaking defense, pal.
One guy doesn't build an identity for you. When you're adding one piece to an already established part, it adds an identity. Do the Lions have one of the best offensive lines in the league? Yes or no?
Who knows?
People who watch football know, Maz.
Okay.
I mean, people with eyes and brains.
The running game is really dominating. That's really good.
Didn't we just have a running back set the record for most touchdowns in 7 games? Better than your boy Barry Sanders, who's getting a damn statue? Yeah, the running game's doing all right. They're doing it without DeAndre Swift, their premier running back. So they're into their depth chart, and still guys are putting up numbers. Yeah, that's good. That shows the offensive line doesn't matter who you put back there.
Shut your mic off. You have one freaking win.
Hey, we're gonna continue this, but first a message from how did we do in our picks? We'll get to those next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
I wish Stick would go to Chili Peppers Tanning
your
right
beard
now.
went to Chili Peppers Tanning.
And the tanning bed would lock on him. Join the Pepper Club right now at Chili Peppers Tanning, and they will save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning and more. The cleanest salons in the D, and you get to meet the Chili Pepper Girls. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters is chilipepperstanning.com.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag #WoodwardFrontRow. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest to front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and you can get it at LCA. You can also get it at Kroger, or if you're lazy like me and order everything online because you don't want to leave your house in this weather when it's rainy and nasty, you can just get it shipped right to your house. Go to CintronWorld.com right now /Red Wings, and you'll get this limited edition 6-pack. And you know what? I do this all the time. Darren doesn't know it, but if you order it and you bring it in here, Darren will sign it for you. I promise. CintronWorld.com.
That's so great. Sticking for Braylon today. I did want to say, we'll go around the NFL tomorrow. We're just running out of show today. But Maz, the team that I was most disappointed in this week.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
I can't believe it.
Is it? Somebody said this on Twitter, and I don't remember who it was, but maybe Josh McDaniels is not a good head coach either. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. These New England guys
just go home. Josh.
They don't work out.
No, they don't.
They just don't work out.
Vrabel is the only New England guy, and he wasn't really
a coach.
I was going to say, and he wasn't a coach.
He wasn't a coach.
Right.
But he's the only one that has come out of that system. Charlie Weiss, Romeo Crennel, Josh McDaniels,
Matt Patricia.
Well, Romeo came from,
Yeah.
Just stay with Bill, guys. Go back to Bill. Stay in the family.
Just shows how
Keep
smart.
a job for 40 years. Stay in New England.
I mean, Bill O'Brien,
Yeah.
had some success in Houston, but
Till
I
he
don't
traded
think
everyone away.
Yeah, I don't think he ever won a playoff game or anything like that.
He won
but-
a couple division titles,
Yeah.
but that's because the AFC West was just so weak at that point.
So yeah, how did we do in our picks?
We sucked.
I had my worst week. I was 2-5, but still above 500 on the year. Braylon had a strong week. I mean, if you look at our pick, I mean, that's as good as you can. Seriously, I mean, if you look collectively at those picks, you're 12 games over, Maz. I'm 6 games over. Braylon's 4 games
Look
over.
how many half-point losses we had yesterday.
I know. Yesterday I lost with the Lions. That was a half-point loss. Falcons, that was a half-point loss. So that's that would have taken me to, 4-3
Can
alone.
I say this? The 49ers, I would never bet against them
What
for the
did I
rest
say
of
on
the
Friday?
year. You said they're the best team in the league, and you argue with Braylon, and he likes the Eagles. I'm with you.
What did I tell you, the lock of the week?
Well, 49ers and Eagles in the NFC Championship game, and the Buffalo Bills are the AFC champion already. So that's it. It's those 3 teams. There are no other teams.
You're not putting the Chiefs in there?
No. There are no other teams. The Buffalo Bills all right, I'll put the Chiefs in there.
You got to put the Chiefs
Bills
in there.
against the Chiefs. Bills are going to win. And the 49ers against the Eagles, and the 49ers are going to win. And it's going to be the 49ers over the Bills. Again, the Bills will be 0-5.
How about the friggin' Tennessee Titans, man?
They just ran the ball
5-2
down your throat.
Malik Willis only had to throw 1 pass in the second half.
And he threw 1 interception, too.
That's good.
Yeah, 10% interception rate.
He completed it.
It's Maz's boy.
That's it.
Unbelievable.
He
We
is my
got
boy.
World Series tonight. Maz,
Yep.
you've been keeping a dibs on the
You know
World
it.
Series.
Philly had a chance the other night. They loaded the bases, could not get that hit. They have not lost at home yet. Philly wins tonight against Houston. That crowd is going to be off the hook. And then a Halloween spooktacular Monday Night Football game. You got the Browns and the Bengals, the Battle of Ohio.
I need some big fantasy points out of the game tonight, fellas.
Who do you got?
I have Amari Cooper going. I have Harrison Bryant going. And then I also have Joe Mixon. And I'm down by 30. So it could happen.
Down by 30. It could happen.
D-Mac.
It could
No,
happen.
D-Mac is a different story. I need T. Higgins to go off for me tonight against
Gotcha.
D-Mac. D-Mac had the most incredible week ever. The 2 losses I have in our league was when Fish went nuts and Hawkinson had that crazy game.
Yeah.
Now D-Mac had Christian McCaffrey going crazy.
Hey, and they got the Pistons playing at the Bucks tonight. Then they had another rematch in 2 nights against the Bucks, and the Red Wings are in Buffalo against the Sabres.
How about the Pistons yesterday?
Big win against the Dubs.
Beating the world champs.
Yep.
The world champs.
That's like back in the day when Grant Hill's Teal Pistons used to beat Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the regular season.
got
Just
something.
kind of how it felt like,
How you
right?
like the teal? And the teal,
I love
the
these
court
teal-
and everything.
I do because they're not permanent.
No, it looks
right?
good.
It does look great. I love the teal.
I still have PTSD from that teal, man.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me
The
at all.
dead era of Pistons basketball between championship
You didn't
runs.
like Fat Joe Dumars?
I didn't like John Karate. I didn't like Terry Mills.
Jerome Williams, Junkyard Dog.
JYD. Yeah, I mean Lindsey Hunter.
Speaking of Pistons, quickly though, worth pointing out, Bojan Bogdanovic got a 2-year, $39 million extension.
Shout out to all the balding dudes getting contracts.
No, but that's a huge signing for them. Look at this.
Look at
guy.
that hairline.
Can you come out here? Look at that.
Uh-oh. It's a hot dog eating a hot dog.
Look at this guy.
Go that way, Spence. There he
you
is.
go.
There
See
he is.
Spence there? Can you
Why
zoom out?
don't he just come in the studio?
Yeah.
Heavyweights, 5 to 7, right here on WoodwardSports.com.
I don't know if you can see him or not. He's out there. It's too dark. Tuck coming.
This is what happens
Very
with Michigan
good.
State fans.
Yeah, right. That's exact. You know, I almost start saying that like automatically now when I see a State fan.
Yep.
You know, Tuck coming.
Tuck coming.
It's
Everybody's
fine.
coming.
Happy Halloween, guys. Stick, thanks for filling in today. Certainly appreciate it. Braylon will be back tomorrow. Fletch and JB, you guys rock. Maz, you're the man, buddy.
Hey, anybody that doesn't want their Mounds or Almond Joys, send them my way for Halloween.
And if anybody puts
Ooh-wee.
drugs in your kids' candy, I will gladly take the drugs.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
For the kids.
And we will see you tomorrow night.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.